To dismantle a global empire that controls every aspect of society, you don't necessarily have to fight its armies. You simply stop helping it run. But executing that kind of total systemic sabotage requires millions of people acting as one. In 1919, the British Raj in India faced the exact opposite. The subcontinent was a tinderbox of deep compartmentalized anger, fractured along religious and geographic lines. The British administration actively relied on these divisions to maintain their grip. A unified populace was the one threat the colonial system was never designed to survive. The first major fracture happened domestically, when the colonial government passed the Rowlatt Act, a law granting them sweeping powers to imprison individuals without trial. Mass protests erupted across the Punjab region. The administration's response was swift and horrifying. Under British General Reginald Dyer, troops opened fire on a peaceful gathering at Jallianwala Bagh. Hundreds of unarmed civilians were killed. The sheer volume of bullets fired into the crowd left permanent scars in the surrounding brickwork. The massacre generated immense grief and furious anti-British sentiment, primarily taking hold among Hindu and Sikh communities in northern India. Yet, while the tragedy at Jallianwala Bagh sparked intense domestic rage, the resulting political crisis remained geographically localized and demographically isolated. At the exact same time, a seemingly unrelated geopolitical crisis was unfolding thousands of miles away. World War I had ended. The Ottoman Empire was defeated by Britain and its allies. Through the Treaty of Sevres, victors began dismantling Turkish territories and stripping power from the Sultan. This international dismantling of power was executed formally, quietly, and bureaucratically by Allied diplomats. But the Sultan held a crucial dual role. He was also the Khalifa, the spiritual leader of the global Muslim community. This portrait shows the face of that leadership, a figure deeply respected by millions. By disrespecting the Khalifa and threatening Islamic holy sites, the British triggered deep outrage among Muslims. India now held two massive parallel streams of anti-British hatred. One was domestic and secular, born in the Punjab. The other was international and religious. They ran side by side, waiting for a bridge. That bridge began to form through the leaders of the Khilafat agitation, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, who were actively seeking a way to channel their community's growing outrage. The Ali brothers stepped into the national spotlight, pushing the Khilafat issue to the forefront of Indian politics. They found a crucial ally when they joined forces with a rising political figure, Mahatma Gandhi. He recognized the explosive potential of this exact moment in history. He realized that by actively championing the international Khilafat issue right alongside the domestic outrage over Punjab, he had a rare opportunity to forge a massive Hindu-Muslim alliance. He pitched this unified front to the Indian National Congress as the ultimate vehicle to demand Swaraj, or total self-rule. This alliance weaponized isolated emotional grievances into a unified national threat against the very premise of British colonial rule. The strategy born from this new alliance was called the non-cooperation movement. The movement rested on a single observation. The British Empire functioned in India only because millions of Indians actively participated in its institutions, its schools, its courts, and its economy. By withdrawing that participation, the foundational support of the colonial system vanishes, causing the entire superstructure to collapse. Non-cooperation served as a systemic blueprint designed to dismantle the empire from the inside out, all without firing a single weapon. Between 1920 and 1922, this strategy rolled out nationwide. Thousands of students walked out of government-controlled schools and colleges, refusing to accept a British education. In the professional sector, elite Indian lawyers abandoned British-run courts, while prominent politicians resigned from their seats in provincial assemblies. Citizens publicly surrendered the titles and honors awarded to them by the Crown. This top-down paralysis proved the Indian elite were fully committed. They willingly sacrificed their own status, wealth, and education to cripple the colonial administration. The most widespread and economically devastating phase of the movement targeted the wallet, a massive public boycott of foreign-made goods. Citizens gathered in city squares to throw their imported British clothing onto giant bonfires. These fires turned an abstract economic boycott into a visceral, public reality. The financial impact was staggering. In a single year, the total volume of foreign trade dropped by half. Looking at this chart, you can see how quickly the trade volume plummeted between 1920 and 1921, severing a crucial revenue stream for the empire. Out in the streets, massive crowds flooded the avenues. The sheer density of these marchers proved the Hindu-Muslim alliance was working. While these organized boycotts paralyzed the cities, the movement was already expanding far beyond the urban elite. Across the countryside, the everyday masses were waking up to their own power, building a momentum that would eventually dismantle the empire's control.